Well, it's the end of 2023, and we thought we'd have a little look back over the past year and the past 30 years potentially, just have a bit of a catch up and a roundup for 2023. What was it you think led you to start the company?
I bought a boat. So bought a boat and struggled to find the bits and pieces I was after. Got a few recommendations for some suppliers in Holland and stupidly felt that was a great idea to perhaps start trading in those products. So it was accidental in reality. Yeah. So, but thank you very much for highlighting the fact that it was nearly 30 years ago.
Yeah, that was an accident in itself. But I mean, it started.
Shall we just agree on more than 5 years?
More than 5 years. We've been trading more than 5 years.
More than 5
years.
Yeah.
So, and I think you started out in the marine electrical side. And is that where you really thought the business, that was your main focus and that was what you were going to do forever?
Yes. I mean, I guess it's very easy to become blinkered in terms of what you see as a market and understand as a market. It was really only over a period of time that we kind of realised that specialist vehicles were really just boats that didn't float, and then we kind of found remote buildings and bits and pieces and thought, well, actually, they're just kind of boats that are on land, and applied all the same type of technology into those applications as we had in the marine sector. So kind of stumbled across those areas, but of course things have really started to go a roller coaster away from that now with the whole electrification thing, and the move into away from fossil fuels into electric motors, and that whole sustainability drive has just meant that there's so many more applications that keep rearing their head outside of these markets which we've traditionally been in. So I guess probably more than 5 years ago, I thought that we were in a niche industry, and over a period of time, it's really started to become quite mainstream. And we, as a business, we need to really understand how we change what we do to take advantage of the fact that it is now very mainstream. The products that we're dealing with are very much part of normal life. It's not odd to put a solar panel on the roof. It's not odd to operate equipment off a battery, as indicated by the drilling and the whatever going on by the carpenter who's in here today changing our work surfaces. But power tools. When was the last time you bought a power tool with a cord on it?
Well, I'll probably admit, only a couple of weeks ago. But that's only because I'm cheap. But that's more than anything.
It's just odd, isn't it? You're just so used now to batteries being part of everyday life. So batteries, charging, that mobility aspect of it, renewables, it's all so mainstream.
Yeah, and component supply has been a big part of the business, and obviously you work with some very good distributors and suppliers, and people like Victron and MG Energy. How have they played a part in the development of the business overall?
Well, I think the great thing about dealing with, first of all, they're both excellent firms to deal with, and the products are fantastic. But the kind of the cheat out of all of that is they're dealing globally, and that helps to identify opportunities. They've always had those kind of dealer conferences. They're always keen to kind of highlight new applications and areas for the product. It kind of allows us to be at the leading edge of things, even when an application is being discovered potentially the other side of the planet. So I think a combination of some really great products, they've invested in growth, and they've had a business structure that's been entirely focused on growth. And that's, they're all great lessons that we can learn from. So I'm very grateful to suppliers like that who've been really quite inspirational, I think, as well as great products.
And one of the areas we've moved into is developing battery energy storage systems that work with generators on construction sites. And probably in the last 2 years, we've delivered about 400 45 kVA systems into the market. What sort of impact do you think they're having in the marketplace, perhaps on sustainability and that sort of area?
They've been adopted because of savings. They've been adopted because it's going to save fuel and carbon emissions, and that's been a challenge, really. As you know, I mean, we've been banging our head against the brick wall of this is the right thing to do for probably more than 5 years as well. But there was a kind of a point where the savings were not quite enough to get people over the line. But now the genuine desire seems to be to address the carbon emissions and to make construction more, particularly construction, more sustainable. The move from red diesel to white diesel for the construction sector has clearly had a big impact on costs. It's made costs naturally that much higher, and I think the products have just sort of matured and become really much more useful. So a combination of those things has really meant that it's kind of gone from being an extra bit of complication that really wasn't worth the hassle to something that's now pretty much a go-to. And particularly, we've got some really big business with Speedy, and they've got a very positive attitude towards how that's going to drive their business forward and help address some of the challenges of either stage 5 generator sets, alternative fuels which are more expensive. So if you want to save a litre of diesel, you really want to save a litre of hydrogen because it's 10 times the cost. So these type of savings are going to become, I think, more and more important over a period of time.
And obviously delivering that many systems, it's brought about many changes internally with the business. What sort of things you've brought into production and perhaps logistics to help the company grow into be able to deliver that product set?
We've always felt that the company's been a bit of a project company, so getting into something where we've got repeat production has meant that it's a bit of a new world for us, and one that I think we were honest enough to understand that we needed to learn about and get good at. And we've done really well with some outside assistance and some consultants on lean processes, and that's now rolling beyond production and into other areas of the business. But really kind of understanding how we can do repeat business, how we can make all of our processes more efficient has been the key really to being able to deliver that product. And that by no means we're at the end of that road. We need to get better still. And we need to get better still also with our processes with all of our dealings with our customers. We want to be as friction-free as possible for trade, and that is a really big goal for 24, I guess, for 2024 is to really kind of improve that side of things. And I know you've been working a lot on the kind of website development and the kind of processes there.
Yeah, we certainly want to make that smoother for trade clients to come to us, order a product, have it delivered efficiently, and it's certainly
and be able to have that complete visibility. If you want a proof of delivery, it's there. You can just download it. You want a copy invoice, you can just download it. So that's that's kind of our expectation, I guess, from our personal lives, isn't it? It's all there. You just got to log in and get it. So
thanks to Jeff Bezos, we all know a new world.
Yeah, absolutely. 2025 is when we're going to kind of start the rocket company. But at the moment we'll just stick to making the website work better. But I think that's that is the crux of it. They've created a standard with these big e-commerce sites now, which everyone's judged against. And if you can place an order, expect everything to be have a good level of visibility, to be really slick. And if you're not doing that well enough, then that is friction to doing business. So we could have all the stock in the world and all the expert advice in the world, but if it's really difficult to place an order with us, then we are going to miss out, and we don't want to miss out. We want to get that business as well. So.
And I suppose if you think back, starting the marine business, took all of that knowledge, applied it to land-based applications.
Yes.
Seems to me now, and we were at an exhibition last week.
Were we?
Or the week before at Metz.
Oh, yes.
We were at Metz a couple of weeks ago, whereby now we're starting to use some of that knowledge we've learnt from land-based systems now and transition that back into marine hybrids. And how do you feel sort of energy's placed to kind of deal with that transition to electric drives in the marine industry?
I think we're well placed, and I guess we've just got to get our minds around the fact that actually it's the same thing, but just all of a sudden, rather than dealing with a 12 or 24 or 48 volt DC battery system, we're possibly dealing with a 350 volt battery system, but the principles are all the same. It just turns out that the hardware that's around to achieve all of that is is different in that it's not consumer grade, and all the integration work hasn't been done for us. But we've got a great engineering team of, goodness, I don't know what we are this week, 12 people or something like that.
12 at the moment, I think. Yeah.
And that is where they can make a real difference for us. So we need to be able to take products that were, kind of designed. They've got the right hardware. They just need to work and flow as eloquently as the systems that we're putting together at low voltage to really allow us to kind of capitalise on that market, I think.
Yeah, and I think one of the things as a small business that I probably would recognise is that what puts us at the front to compete with the larger companies, our innovation, and a lot of investment's gone on with innovation. And how do you see that plays a part in next year and the coming years?
Well, I think it is vital, and we need to just continue to be brave to give things a go. We've got a kind of a kind of development strategy where we're not afraid to build an ugly prototype. That is, you learn so much from doing it, and even if you end up just having to take it all apart again and build something that's a bit more refined and it can actually go to a customer, then you have to do it. If you work on the basis that you can build something perfect first time out, it's unlikely you're going anywhere near any of the kind of the boundaries of the technology. It has to be a bit of a kind of an ugly first attempt. And I think we've kind of done that already in 2022 and 2023 with some of the high voltage systems, and we've got those kind of containerized prototypes that have really helped us to kind of gain, I think, the right level of product knowledge to move it forward and to produce something now that is going to be reliable and repeatable and going to deliver what the customer wants.
I think what I find exciting about the business is the range of sectors that we're involved in, from the military through to the marine, to vehicles, to generator companies, and no two clients are the same. And obviously, we've had to learn what clothes to wear to the right meeting.
I know.
To ensure
you've got to have the orange. You've got the orange reflective jacket, or is it the chinos, or is it a suit and tie? Yeah, absolutely. The wardrobe is having to grow to deal with a customer base.
I think that's been really exciting, and obviously we're looking at, and I think we're probably on the cusp of newer sectors now, because as we see, as you mentioned earlier, the electrification of anything and everything. Where do you see that again playing out? What sort of things are you thinking?
Well, I suppose at the moment, anytime I see particularly a small internal combustion engine, because they're always, the least refined, let's put it that way. If you see a small internal combustion engine, my gut feel is that is ripe for electrification. Now, I don't know, take something like a strimmer. Are we going to make electric strimmers? No, we're not. There's going to be a mass market for those, and the tool companies are going to make that product. But that strimmer, if it's being used in any kind of semi-commercial application, they're going to need to recharge it, and they're going to need to recharge it on the go. The vehicle, the grounds care van is going to need to be able to recharge lots of batteries for all of the products that are going from site to site and being looked after. Our place perhaps is with the vehicle converter. We need to think about how we're going to recharge those batteries, how we're going to control that safely. Do we want the vehicle recharging the batteries unattended, or do we not? And how do we put those kind of controls and protections in? Back to the question, I think the opportunities are going to be huge. There's going to get a certain point where we've got the right products to electrify it directly, perhaps when things are getting into a slightly higher power level, but right down to small consumer products, they are going to need charging up. I mean, it's not going to be from a portable generator. It's going to be off a vehicle or from the grid when the equipment gets back to base. And I think that's just such a massive opportunity. That it's going to dwarf everything we're doing currently, I guess.
No, well, that'll be interesting if it does, because we've grown extremely quickly, and it's been a very exciting. It's been a very exciting period. I mean, do you have any sort of highlights? Do you think a key highlight for you, actually, you felt that was the moment the business started to change and accelerate potentially?
Yeah, I think it was when we actually kind of got into the groove of making our larger EasyGrid, the 45 kVA. The moment that we got into the groove of making those consistently at pace was the point where it just started bringing in a level of business every week that made it perhaps just a little bit easier to think about investing in the ugly prototype for the next size up or whatever it is. So yeah, that has been really quite pivotal, I think. And the responsibility now is to keep, I feel, to keep making those next steps forward, because it's very easy to kind of sit on your laurels and we're really very, very busy. But actually all of those opportunities that exist out there are ones that are exciting for us, but also quite challenging for customers or potential customers, and it would be great to get involved in solving those problems.
Yeah, and I suppose we really do have sort of 1, 2, 3 facets to the business. There's what we say, the distributed goods, there's the manufacturing, and there's our engineering services. And kind of, do you have a favourite?
Oh goodness, it's like children, you can't say that.
No, is there a part of the business that really, I imagine it all excites you, there's no question.
No, absolutely. Well, I think I've still really got a soft spot for the marine sector, and I like that because actually, I feel we add really good value to our clients in that sector and help them produce some amazing products. But if we put a cold-headed business hat on, actually the distributed product is, some amazing opportunities there. I think there's so much to be done with the Victron product line. In a general sense, I think the MG Energy product line on electrifying larger bits of equipment, perhaps that go beyond 48 volts, so 96, 144 volt DC systems and beyond for agricultural, mining, industrial applications where really you just need, to power an electric motor off a battery bank for a shift or for a particular application. Those products are just fantastic for that, and really modular. Got some really interesting variants of the product. So yes, from a straightforward business perspective, I think the distributed product's got a huge amount to do, and so that's 2 of the 3 children covered as but clearly all of that is supported by engineering. If we can't, I don't think we can help the customer who wants to electrify a piece of agricultural equipment, for instance, without providing them with some engineering support, both from the electrical side of it, from the controls. Almost inevitably, this kind of equipment now is going to be either completely autonomous or semi-autonomous. So telemetry, all of the CAN integration, all of that side of things is just an essential part in terms of getting a product to market. If you can electrify it and actually slightly robotize it at the same time, which is a lot easier when you haven't got a clutch pedal. Then why wouldn't you?
I suppose, I think as a business, we kind of walk the walk. Most people in the business will have an electric car or a hybrid car, and I'm going to take you back quite a distance on to the Vauxhall Ampera. And
2012.
What were you thinking when you said,
I was thinking,
I'm going to have
how
this
come
car?
the money hasn't arrived to buy this car? I was sat in the showroom waiting for them to hand the keys over. I think it's it's a long time ago, isn't it?
It is. That's early adoption.
Yes, yeah. I think, what was interesting, I think there, was actually that product, that car, didn't really prove to be much more fuel efficient than the standard car. That was interesting. I mean, it was a bit, because short journeys you could do on the battery, but even there, you just realise that actually you've got to strive to really get that integration right, to really get the benefits. It was a great car, but actually it was answering slightly the wrong question, and that's what, we can see that now. Really now you get electric cars with a range extender rather than effectively it was a range extender with a battery. It was the wrong way round.
Yeah, that probably just frames you in that position and saying, well, actually, I'm an early adopter, want to try these things. Definitely electrification is what you're interested in, and certainly, well, obviously the business anyway, but
yes,
that's certainly what you're interested in, have a passion for it. If you do send me a number of YouTube videos, which is generally around something that's been electrified at some point. So you're obviously searching for it.
The algorithm finds me, I suppose. That's one of the problems. Is it's a hugely distracting area because there's so much we can have a go at. We've got to be a little bit mindful about what's going to give a good return on time spent. But it's not as if there's any shortage of opportunities, I suppose. There's a lot out there, and that we'll throw a certain amount of mud at the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah, well, I found it in this year and last, pretty much all of them, nearly over 15 years, I think it is
more than
now.
5.
More than 5 years that I've been working here with you. I found it all exciting, just the whole development. We always seem to be at the cutting edge of something that's going to happen, and we certainly are now. And, I suppose if you take the marine business, we were dealing with a very small portion of the boat at one point. But now with a large portion, we've taken over from the engines now. That's a complete sea change from, pardon the pun, but it's a complete sea change from where we were in the marine industry.
Yes, and a big value change. Previously, on a big motorboat, the engine manufacturers were getting a big slice of the pie, and that pie is being re-divided, and batteries are forming a bigger part of that. And that is a great opportunity for us. So it is. It's a really interesting kind of change and a movement around. And interesting, I was just reading that executive summary that was done by Ricardo for Icomia, which was about they were tasked with really looking at how the leisure marine industry can deal with the challenges of driving carbon out of the products. I think they've done a really good job in terms of analysing the benefits and the difficulties of the technology. But the one kind of aspect of it, I guess, that wasn't really being highlighted was the fact that electrification can provide a really different experience for a boat owner. And they were talking about payback. Well, it's a bit of a kind of an odd thing to talk about with a yacht, because I don't think there is a payback for a yacht. You're buying it as a luxury because you want that experience and you want that kind of opportunity for that family time. And one of the byproducts potentially of a more expensive propulsion system that does involve some kind of electrical element is that you get that quietness and that opportunity of experiencing the sea without the sound of a diesel engine rumbling around in the background. Definitely. So my feeling is that whilst they are right technically in some of that, they potentially missed a kind of a user experience benefit that is just quite, I think, really powerful, and that people are prepared to invest in, because actually it's delivering what they want, for their time on the boat. Not irrespective of cost. Cost clearly plays a part, but it's not just the cost of getting from A to B. It is the time that you're doing that.
The experience on the water.
I think so.
Certainly in the marine sector.
For
sure. I think ultimately 2024 we've got lots of new products coming out and being launched, and we're working harder with lots more companies as well. So
we're going to become more sociable.
We're definitely going to be more
We
sociable.
are going to go to more exhibitions. That's, I think, the big thing for 2024. So I think we've become slightly reclusive post-COVID, and I think, you and I and others have all got an appetite for getting out there and doing a few more shows and some random stuff amongst the bigger events. Just again, really to kind of see what's out there and kind of test different sectors and see what's going on and where opportunities might exist for us helping people out. So I'm quite looking forward to a busy event calendar next year. Did we put that in the budget?
Yeah, it's definitely in the
It's
budget.
definitely in the
Well, we're going to
budget,
find
okay.
out tomorrow when we finalise it. But
Okay,
absolutely, it was definitely
So
in the budget.
spend more money
Spend
on
more money
shows.
on shows and going out. So
Yeah.
I think it's been great to chat and have a bit of a roundup on 2023.
Yeah.
We have lots to look forward
It's
to.
going to feel out of date very soon,
It
isn't
will do.
it?
2023 is passé now, so we're looking forward to 2024. Hopefully, that's giving you a little bit of insight as to what's happening in Paul's mind and where the future of energy is going. But we're very much excited about it here, and hopefully you'll continue to watch our channels and work with us.
And obviously, we're very thankful for all the business that we've had from our customer base all over those various sectors. So yes, thank you very much. We really appreciate the business.